Hello, everybody. This is APBA Brian with the Picks to Post show, week 8 of the NFL. Last weekend, a lot of bad teams jumped off the sides of milk cartons and won themselves football games. In fact, all the 1-5 teams, except for Arizona, won. And that meant that all of our picks kind of went down the toilet. In fact, we can sum up with how we did picking very easily.
Yes.
Actually, you should play the clip of Blazing Saddles of the one guy trying to use that. Must be defective.
I was driving into Arrowhead Stadium getting ready to watch the Chiefs, and I checked my phone to check all the picks, and every one of my picks were going south. But I was at Arrowhead, and I said, I don't care. We're joined today by Rob, Michael Peterson, who won the week last week at 7-6, Tim Gillis, and back with us tonight is Harris Jessup. Glad to see you back, Harris.
Good to be back.
All right, let's get started with our picks. We're going to start with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers are 3-3, and it's going to be 60 degrees in Buffalo, 13% chance of rain. The Buffalo Bills are 4-3, and they've hit the skids. They've lost a couple of games here lately. Rob, start us off.
Yeah. Well, 7.5-point favorites. I do not see it. This team has been in a shambles offensively the last 2 weeks. They in a shell pretty much, and Tampa's not scared to play you. Tampa is going to have a chance to win this game. Being in Buffalo, I pick Buffalo 23-20. It's going to be a good game Thursday night for once.
Harris?
I agree with what Rob said. Allen has got to turn it around. You know, he's just not playing like he has the last couple of years. But he's getting to play one of Michael's favorite people, Baker. And, you know, give me the Bills.
Tim?
Yeah, I just, once again, the offense for Buffalo's on a milk carton right now. Like, they're missing. Like, how they beat the Giants, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to go with Tampa in the upset.
All right, Michael?
Well, I thank you, Tim. I thought I was going to be the one on the island, but Tampa can play in the cold because they got Baker Mayfield. Thank you, Harris.
You're welcome.
Baker does play in the cold because he played with Cleveland, and I don't know. Where's Buffalo's running game? Have you seen it? It's like missing. At least I know. You know, they're supposedly the best team in New York. Ha! Give me the Buccaneers for the upset.
Buffalo does have a good running back. I think he's better than when they had Singleton, James Cook. He's averaging 4.8 yards. They just don't run the ball very much. And I think they need to run it more. Diggs has got 678 yards, and Ed Oliver is leading the defense. Tampa Bay is 28th in rushing, so Buffalo should shut down their running game. That's going to put a lot on Baker Mayfield's shoulders. Don't think that's going to work out too well. I think Buffalo will get it back together in Buffalo. It's not going to be cold. It's going to be 60 degrees. It's going to be good weather. But I think Buffalo wins that game.
And which way did Keith go?
Keith is taking Buffalo also.
All right.
All right, our next game is the Los Angeles Rams. They are 3-4. They're going to Dallas. It's going to be indoors, so we're not concerned about the weather. Dallas is 4-2. Let's start with Harris.
Everybody knows I'm going to take Dallas with this pick. I have no reason except Cowboys win, lose, or draw. Give me Dallas.
Michael? Tim.
Tim.
Sorry.
Wait,
Yeah. Yeah, I just think that Dallas will overpower the Rams here. Give me the Cowboys.
Michael?
Dallas is from a bye week, but I'm going to make a comment because I watched it. In Game 6 of the World Series, Texas was leading. And in the bottom of the 7th, they had a picture of everybody's hero, Dak, with a flag. Well, what happened in the 9th? You know. They lost that game. All right? Matthew Mafford may have a chance if they can find a way to get Cooper Kupp getting in the game and have a decent running game. Let's say the Rams will keep it close, but the Rams could win in an upset, and that's who I'm taking. The Rams.
Not as far-fetched as you might think, though.
Being on the island.
Stafford, to me, is kind of having a so-so year. He's 7 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He should be doing better than that because when you look at his wide receivers, now he's got Cooper Kupp back, Puka Nacua, who trucked somebody last week. He made it on angry runs. And Tutu Atwell is very fast. I think he's got one of the best wide receiver rooms in the NFL. And he's got a running game with Kyron Williams from Notre Dame, 4.7 yards per carry. But I am also leaning toward Dallas. Prescott is 4-0 when he does not throw an interception. And they've kind of restricted their offense for that reason when they went to McCarthy. I think Dallas' defense will force Stafford into some mistakes. Dallas is coming off a bye. They've had some time to plan for this. And they don't want to lose this week. They got the Eagles next week. Micah Parsons, he'll be there loud and proud. 5 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, 11 quarterback hits. I think Stafford's going to have some nightmares about Michael Parsons by picking Dallas. Rob?
Yeah, 6-point favorite. I think they're just going to cover it. A touchdown. I think a touchdown difference. I think the Rams will score, but I think the Cowboys are going to have more success at home. 24-17. I like the Cowboys.
That brings us to our next game, the Atlanta Falcons.
I'm on the
Which way Keith go?
Oh, Keith took Dallas.
I'm on the island
So
all
Mike is
by
on the
myself. Maybe we'll put
All right, the
that
Atlanta
on the shelf.
Falcons are 4-3, finally won a road game. They're playing in Tennessee. It's going to be 78 degrees with a 14% chance for rain. And the Titans are 2-4. Atlanta Falcons, Desmond Ridder finally won a road game. And he had a good day, except for he did fumble the ball 3 times. So that part was not good. And I think they've got to be thinking about bringing in Heineke. But the Falcons did win. And here is a sample from that game. Not a sample, that's a picture. Sorry. There we go.
Baltimore Ravens and Lions, we welcome you here to Tampa Bay. 2 timeouts Atlanta in a tie game. And what a catch! Kyle Pitts down the sideline.
Why they don't scheme up for that guy, I don't know. He is a talent, and they just don't use him enough. I think, Tim, you're first.
Yeah, unfortunately. The 2 of the biggest dang Jekyll and Hyde teams, you don't know what team's going to come out or what's going to happen. I'm only taking them because they're the home team. Give me the Titans. Right, Titans are at home?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, give me the Titans.
Michael?
Oh, this is going to be good. It'll be a good game, at least. Maybe. But, you know, the experience is going to come to the quarterback. Ryan Tannehill versus whatever his name, Derek, whatever.
I think Tannehill's out. I think Tannehill's out this week.
Is he out? Well,
yeah.
Let's see what the intro.
They said they're gonna play 2 quarterbacks. They're gonna play.
They're gonna play the Liberty guy.
They're gonna play Liberty guy starting, but they can also have. Who's the other guy that got drafted by him?
Lutz.
Yeah.
Kid for
Will
from
Lutz.
Kentucky.
Yeah, Will Lutz.
Yeah.
They got Tannehill as questionable, by the way, just to let you know.
It doesn't look
Yeah, I
like
don't-
he's going to play, is what I've been hearing.
Okay.
But you know what? It still doesn't matter because really, I still can't stand him. Tennessee, baby. Tennessee, home team.
All right. Falcons. Ritter was 19 for 25 last week with a touchdown, 250 yards. But again, marred by 3 fumbles that were lost.
And no Bijan.
One play, I think Bijan ran one play. He was in for 11 plays, but he only carried the ball one time.
Once.
Yeah.
Screwed my team.
He was, I think he was ill. Was the problem. Art Smith was once on Vrabel's staff as his OC, so they kind of know each other, right? Tennessee will kind of know Art Smith and what the Falcons will probably be trying to do. They primarily are a run team against a team that's primarily a run defense team. So I don't think that's going to work out too well for the Falcons. I'm picking Tennessee. D'Amico Autry and Jeffrey Simmons are good run stoppers. We're going to see a lot of Derrick Henry. Willis has not played much. He's 4 for 5. That's 80%. But when he plays, they need to incorporate his legs more than they have in the past because he can run the ball too. I'll be looking to see. Well, that's how he does. The Traylon Burks, I think, is injured, so he's not there. But they got DeAndre Hopkins. They got some options at the receiver. I'll give it Tennessee, Rob.
Man, I couldn't believe it when I saw this line that Falcons are actually favored to win this ball game by a point. And I was like, Ritter's won one game on the road in his career. And this is not a team that I don't think you want to play them, but just because they can, number one, they can run the ball, they can control the football. Number two, their defense I think it's a little bit underrated. I really do. I like Tennessee. If you want to call them mild upset, 17-13. I like the Titans to win this ball game.
Harris?
I think this game's going to come down who controls the clock. You can go either way with it. Not knowing who's going to be a quarterback for the Titans really hurts right now. And for that, I'm going with Atlanta.
All right, our next game is the
See,
Minnesota.
which way Keith did that one?
Well, Keith is Tennessee.
Tennessee. All right. Thank you.
All right, the suddenly primetime Vikings at the got the wrong team up there. It's going to be Vikings at the Packers.
Yep.
And I mean,
Mike.
I think I forgot that logo. I
Well,
didn't put those logos up.
first thing, kudos to Kirk Cousins last night. One hell of a game last night for them. I couldn't believe they beat San Francisco. Even without Mr. Jefferson and his mustachio. If you've seen the new commercial, he says he's the best looking guy with a mustache and everything. Anyway,
I'm sorry. He cannot hold a candle to Raleigh fingers.
that's all right. I know he couldn't, but that's okay. But Minnesota has a very distinct disadvantage. 6 days versus the Packers 7 days. Jordan Love, give him a little more work. Give him another receiver. He'll do well. I'm going to go with Green Bay on this one. At home.
Okay, Minnesota did not have Justin Jefferson, but this.
Blitz off the edge. Cousins throws, and it's taken away by Addison for the touchdown. He and Charvarius Ward fighting for the ball, and this time Addison takes it for the score.
Well, that quite a battle between Charvarius Ward and Addison. The first one went to an interception with Ward, and then Addison got the better of the day. He had over 100 yards. Minnesota, Green Bay, I am picking the Vikings. I think Jordan Love has just been too inconsistent, and they're kind of restricting the offense. He's inconsistent, and he's kind of restricted. We follow a guy named Tom Grossi. Do y'all know who he is? Tom Grossi?
Yeah, I know he is. Yeah.
Tom
No,
Grossi, he's a comedian.
Yeah,
No,
and he's
he-
got a
yes,
Packer.
okay.
He's a big, huge Packers fan.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, he was saying the Packers are really bad. Now he's saying they're really, really bad. And we may not have seen the depths of the Green Bay Packers quite yet. They just lost to the Raiders, and they just lost to the Broncos. Yeah, I don't think they're going to beat the Vikings. I'm picking Minnesota. Rob?
Yeah. I'm going to even go a little stretch further. I actually think his team in purple is going to the playoffs this year. I think they're going to turn around. I'm not even sure they're not going to catch the Lions. The Lions are playing flat football right now. He's already said, I'm not getting traded. I'm not going to accept a trade. He's got a no-trade clause. They wanted to trade him, they said last week. Now, you look at Minneapolis, they actually have a hint of enthusiasm for him. They're going to win this ballgame. They're going to find a way to win. Green Bay is a tough place to play. 20-17, the upset here. Actually, Green Bay is favored by a point here. I don't say how, but I like Minnesota in this ballgame.
Yeah, no fire sale for the Vikings this week. Harris?
I think the Vikings turned the corner after this past week. Green Bay, you still don't know where you're getting with Love. I mean, you can get a 300-yard passing game out of them, or you can get a 3-interception game out of them. Which one's going to show up? You don't know. But I think the Vikings turn that corner. And, Rob, you said you think they're going to make the playoffs? I think they're going to win the division. Vikings.
Tim?
Yikes. Not another game I just shake my head at for this one. Because you don't know what you're going to – although you do know you're going to get a good Kirk Cousins game. So because the quarterback play is a little bit better for the Vikings, I think I'll take them to win.
Again on the island by myself.
Maybe Keith took the Packers.
Keith took
Did he?
Minnesota.
All right.
So, once again,
I'm on the island by
the island was not a
myself.
bad place to be for you last week, though. Next game
I'm
is
out on Thunder Island.
New Orleans at Indianapolis. New Orleans is 3-4, and the Indianapolis Colts are also 3-4.
It's Brian's turn.
All right. Each week, I don't know how to go with New Orleans. Fortunately, they've had a bye, and you look at Derek Carr and his receivers; they've not been on the same page all year. Hopefully, they had a mini bye, I think. Or did they play? Yeah, they had a mini bye.
Yeah.
So, Carr's at 1299, 65% passing, 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. He's a better quarterback than that. He's got to get his act together with his receivers. He has receivers, and Kamara's back. I'm going to go with New Orleans one more time. Indianapolis is kind of stuck with Minshew as Pittsburgh says.
Tonight.
65%, 5 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Colts defense is as bad as the Saints defense is good. Colts defense is 30th. Zaire Franklin, a linebacker, is a tackling machine with 88 tackles, but there's really not a whole lot else on that defense to get excited about. I'm with New Orleans. Rob?
Yeah, well, how about this? Colts are 1.5 favorite this game. And so it kind of like tells you there Vegas likes the Saints because normally you'd be a 3-point favorite at home. I like Saints to win this ball game too. Yeah, 16-14. What are you going to get? We don't know, but 16-14, I'll take the Saints anyway.
Harris?
I'm taking the Colts for 2 reasons. One, they're at home, and Carr's on the other side.
You got the Saints?
No, I
He
went
took
Colts.
the
Oh,
Colts.
Colts. Okay.
He took
Yeah.
the Colts.
Okay, Tim?
I don't think that the Colts are going to get the big. Well, actually, you know what? They are going to get the big plays that they got against the Browns. And Taylor played a really good game against the Browns. I was thoroughly impressed. They put up 38 points against the defense against the Browns. So I will go with the Colts.
Michael?
Mr. Mustache against David Carr. Harris, I agree with you on both ends. I'm going to give you a third reason why you take the Colts. New Orleans has lost 4 out of the last 5 games. Take the Colts at home.
Keith.
Keith took Indianapolis.
Yeah! Finally.
So the Colts are the popular pick there. Next
Hey.
pick is the
Mr. Mustache. That's what it is. It's the mustache.
There's the New England Patriots. They are 2-5. They're playing in Miami, where it's supposed to be 85 degrees. There's a 24% chance for rain.
Better than 6 degrees.
The Miami Dolphins are 5-2. Mac Jones had quite the day.
That's what I say.
25 for 30 with 272 yards.
And they are playing well here in the early going. Jones in the pocket. Step and throw. He's got Bourne. And Bourne's got speed. Working that sideline out of bounds.
It's Jordan. Let's see. I forget his first name. It's not Jason.
No, it's
Are you talking about the quarterback?
No,
no, the wide receiver.
the wide receiver.
Zappy's the backup.
Yeah,
That's not the tight end that they drafted.
No.
Are you talking about the Miami?
That's okay. We don't need his first name, but he had a couple.
Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Rob, you're first.
I looked at this line and laughed about it. The Dolphins are 9.5-point favorites at home. And then I thought about it for a while, and I was like, but New England's not bringing a lot to the table when they come down there. New England's going to lose the game. They're going to cover, but they're going to lose the game. 23-14. And I'll take Miami.
Harris?
I'm going to go with Miami.
Yeah, I think the Dolphins get back on track after their performance on Sunday night. Give me the Dolphins.
And Mike?
Why it's 9.5 points? Think about it. The last 4 games the Patriots have played, how many offensive points have they scored? 27, 30, 20, what is it? I'm sorry, 30 points in 4 games. That's just as bad as a certain New York team that I know. Give me the fish.
Okay, New England has practically no running game until last week, and they can't rush the passer very well other than Matt Judon. So I think Tua will have plenty of time to look over the receivers.
New England won't win.
Miami last week did not have Xavier Howard or Jalen Ramsey, and they're both back practicing. So they should be back next week. Pass offense is number 1. The Dolphins, though, have played the easiest schedule in the NFL.
Dolphins got their running back this
Just
week.
continue.
They get that running back, I think.
Yeah,
this week.
Mostert's back, isn't he?
No,
Well,
H.
Mostert's there, but Achane.
Achane.
Achane. Yeah, I don't know if he's back or not.
Another one.
It was 4 weeks minimum, right? Yeah.
Well, okay, maybe he is out still then. Okay, I thought Achan was back this week.
I'm picking Miami, and Keith has Miami, so everybody's on Miami in there.
Yeah. The only way New England wins is if Zappy is at quarterback. That's it.
If Miami forgets to show up, that's the only way they win.
Oh, here. The Super Bowl of New York City. Oh, here we
Battle
go.
of New York. The Jets are 3-3. It's supposed to be 62 degrees and 25% chance of rain. Giants are 2-5.
2-5, baby.
And Tyrod Taylor, he had a pretty good game for the Giants last week, 18 for 29 with 279 yards passing.
3rd and goal.
Taylor to the end zone. Waller, touchdown!
And Waller has
like
been
nodding his head.
the Giants' favorite receiver. All right, Harris, I think you're first.
Yeah, battle in New York.
Yay!
You know, you got these two battling out, but I still think the Bills are the best team in New York, though. But since they're not in this game, give me the Jets.
Jets.
You know, it could be a home game, it could be a road game, depends on which side of the field they line up on.
Yeah, that's true.
Tim Gillis.
Is Danny Dimes going to be back at quarterback, or is the
Don't
world's
think so.
greatest? Okay,
Don't
so
think
the
so.
world's greatest quarterback manager, Tyrod Taylor, is going to be starting.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, it's actually supposed to be pronounced Tyrod, not Tyrod.
Correct.
Tyrod. Yes, he said that much when he played for the Browns, but still everybody calls him
With
Tyrod.
Bills.
You know, Jets come off a bye.
No, Jets played.
No, the Jets played
No,
last.
No, Jets did come off a bye. You're right.
Jets had a bye.
Jets had a bye last week.
Yep, you're right.
I think that'll allow him to scheme a little bit better, and Wilson will have enough time to pick apart this Giants defense. I'll take the Jets, but it could be like a 14-7 game, like the Giants won this
Doesn't that
past.
sound familiar?
Yeah, the nice thing about Tim, they come off a bye as an away team playing at home.
Yeah, that's not bad. Good work if you can get it.
10 home games. How about 10 home games? You love it.
Yeah.
All right, Michael, your team is the Giants. How do you see this game?
This is tough for me because is Jones playing? Probably not. Is Taylor playing? He didn't. You know what though? They've been saying on the radio, on New York radio, that he didn't play that bad, and thank God for Barkley. And I guess he's going to have to rely on Barkley again this week. Zach Wilson, we all know about Zach Wilson. Oh my God, they can't even trade him for a bag of peanuts. Give me my blue team. And I wish and who's the home team?
Doesn't matter.
Team. They should just leave that logo on from last week. That is old school.
Oh, they had the New Jersey logo on there last week?
No, they played with the old Giants logo with the white Giants.
Taylor.
Yes.
Okay.
It was so old school. I loved it.
Well, actually, technically, the NY is more older school than the Giants.
I know that, but they used the Giants logo on the 50-yard line.
Okay.
Leave it alone. Take the Giants.
The New York Giants' problem this year has really been their offensive line. They've got 3 offensive linemen who are out.
Make it 4.
Oh, is it 4 now?
Yeah, they put somebody on IR today.
Oh, wow. They've given up 37 sacks. Jets can get after the quarterback, so that's going to be a problem. On offense, the Giants are 32nd, which is last in the league. On defense, they're 23rd. Thibodeau has 5.5 sacks, 7 quarterback hurries. The Jets are going to be coming with Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, and I think that's going to be more than the Giants can handle. I'm picking the Jets. Rob?
By the way, Rob, you had said the other day on one of your videos about why everybody's playing the NFL. That's because there's no World Series game on Sunday. Because they're playing Friday and Saturday, or game 1 and 2. Go ahead and make your pick.
Friday and Saturday.
Jets favored by 3 points this week. They go by 20, man. They go put a 30 burger on these jabronis. 30-13. The Jets slaughter them.
Hey, you gave them 13 points. That's pretty good.
And that's only if the Jets defense don't score, right?
The Jets defense may put a couple on the board. They may put a couple of touchdowns on the board, but the Giants defense, that'll be the milk carton next week. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe.
And how about Harris? I mean, not Harris. I'm sorry, Keith.
Keith picked the Jets.
All right. So you're on
Get
another
them on
island.
the island. Oh, it's wonderful to be
The island of Michael. The Isle of Michael. I like the Isle of Michael.
The island of Michael. I like that.
Okay, our next game is the Jacksonville Jaguars. They are 5-2. It's supposed to be 65 degrees with a 58% chance of rain in Pittsburgh. Steelers are 4-2. Jacksonville won their game last week.
Carr, 3rd and 10, steps up, fires, batted, picked. Oluokun comes up with the interception off the deflection, and Oluokun will take the ball close to the goal line. They are celebrating as if he is in there, and the official says he is.
TJ Watt had a good game. He had another interception in his game, his last game with Pittsburgh. Who's first now? Is it Tim?
I think it's me.
Okay, Rob.
I went last time, so would that be me, my turn this time?
Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3.
No, it would be Tim because Harris went first. So
Yeah.
it comes to me.
Tim's
Yeah.
turn.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's okay.
Tim, your turn, bud.
All right. One thing, it's like I don't know how the Steelers do it. I just don't. It just the fighting Tomlins, you might as well call them. If this game was played in London, I might pick the Jaguars to beat them down. But it's being played in Pittsburgh. Sadly, I think I've used my allotted usage of upsets, so I'll take the Jaguars.
Michael?
You know, I just noticed something that 61% of people right now are taking the Jaguars against 30, and Pittsburgh's home. That scares me. I like Kenny Pickett. Pickett is a good quarterback, but their running game is really verschmickled, as a Judge Judy term would say. The Jaguars have the better offense. They got Lawrence. They got Etienne. They got Christian Kirk catching balls. I don't know if the Steelers defense is going to be able to hold them. I think the Jaguars are going to find a way to win it because Tony Khan is kind of getting worried about his AEW stuff, and I think he's going to have to focus with his dad. Give me the Jaguars.
These are both ascending teams. I think we have not yet seen their best days. But with the Steelers, Pickett is sometimes inconsistent. Harris and Warren, their running game is sometimes inconsistent. They were pretty good last week, but sometimes they don't show up. I do think their offensive line is improving. They've allowed only 16 sacks this year. And they still have guys like TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith and Mika Fitzpatrick on defense. Add to that Levi Wallace on defense with 2 interceptions and 7 passes defended. Jacksonville, it seems to me like this is going to be a sort of game that Lawrence is going to be fine, though. 67%, 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. ETN's averaging 4 yards per carry, 504 yards running. And Josh Allen is having a season to rival TJ Watt at defensive end with 7 sacks and 14 quarterback hits. Yeah, I also got 2 guys with 3 interceptions, Jacksonville does. So I see 2 even teams here, but I am going to go with Jacksonville.
See?
Rob?
I see where Lawrence got a new knee brace fitted for his knee yesterday. Said it's something about the other one was not working correctly or something, and his knee was wobbling side to side. That's got to be scary for me. This is not the team you want to be testing new knee braces on because they wear 2 or 3 of them out. Man, I'm not sure they're not the best defense at home in the NFL right now. I mean, like we say, they're doing it with smoke and mirrors, and they're winning. They're going to beat this team. They're going to pull the upset. 19-16. I like his Steelers here.
It's my opinion that everybody should wear knee braces in the NFL, I think. I think it should be required like helmets and shoulder pads.
They should start that out in youth football.
When I was in California, most teams wore knee braces, even our running backs. When I was athletic director, we insisted on running backs also. They wore, this was a long time ago, they were called Anderson knee braces, a little bit smaller than the Don Joy that the linemen wear. But after we started that, we did not have 1 knee injury. And we're talking about 7 or 8 years of football, 0 knee injuries. Where before that, we were having couple of major ones just about every year.
Mhm.
So I that's a kind of a pet peeve of mine. I think everybody should be required to wear a knee brace. And the kids, they said it didn't. After they wore them for a couple of weeks, they said they felt like they were naked without them. It didn't restrict their.
Tell you what, if Nick Chubb would have been wearing a knee brace, he'd still be playing.
Probably.
There's a lot of players that still be playing. My sister used to babysit for one of the Kansas City Chiefs back in the day, EJ Holland. He had 7 knee surgeries in his career. I mean, he had zippers all around his knees. Harris?
The defense is going to make the difference in this game, plain and simple. Jacksonville.
All right, next game is the.
So I've been on the island this time, unless Keith take his Steelers.
Yeah, Keith Jacksonville.
Wow, I'm on the island.
All right, our next game is the Philadelphia Eagles. They are 6-1 playing in Washington, where it's supposed to be 75 degrees, 14% chance of rain. The Commanders are 3-4, and I
I'll
love
never
the
forget
Eagles.
what we saw him do in Minnesota. Rolled an ankle.
Sorry.
Wrong one.
Yeah, let's try this one.
4th and 3, going to go for it with Hurts in trouble. Chased by Chubb, escaping right, and throws. Open is Brown. In for the touchdown.
That was A.J. Brown's touchdown. He was 10 catches for 137 yards and 1 TD. He had a banner day. Michael?
I didn't even watch the Eagle game last week, but damn, those Kelly Green uniforms are good. Rob, your poor Redskins can't cover anybody, and that's the Giants. Can't stop anybody. Well, no, I'll take that back. What's his name? Sweat, or the other guy, the other
Montez
defensive end, who's
Montez
good?
Sweat.
Yeah, Montez Sweat. He's a good one. He's a keeper. One problem: you're playing one of the best teams in the NFL, the Eagles. I know it's a rivalry game and whatnot and all that, but Washington doesn't have the horses to match up against A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts and Kenny Latta, whatever his name is. And even the kicker is even better than Sly. I have to take the Eagles.
All right, I think the Eagles are starting to figure it out. I think possibly the Chiefs are starting to figure it out on offense. No penalties last week for the Eagles. I like Sirianni's comment after the game talking about the brotherly shove. Don't ban the play. If everybody could do it, they would.
Okay, another thing I heard, Brian, not to cut you off, Travis Kelce is not a fan of that play. Or Jason Kelce, sorry. Jason Kelce is not a fan of that play.
Where'd you hear it? Because they talk about a lot. They talk about that on their podcast quite a bit.
Yeah, he's not a fan of that play at all.
There is a way to stop it.
No. Like, he's not a fan of all the bodies being on top of him.
I know that, but there's still a way to stop it.
Miami tried to get everybody down really. I mean, their faces were down on the ground. That didn't work either.
No.
Nope. But you can jump over the offensive lineman legally.
Yeah. Legally, yeah, you could.
Yeah.
Philadelphia got Kevin Byard, a safety from Tennessee. This might be the second time they basically raped the Titans. They got A.J. Brown from the Titans. Now they're getting Kevin Byard.
Oh, crap. Garver's got a rib fracture.
Who does?
Mitch Garver got a rib fracture after getting hit last night.
Okay, the Commanders, they're kind of getting fed up over there. Jonathan Allen said he is tired of this. I don't know if you saw that video. It's kind of starting to fall apart over there in Commanders land, I think. They've allowed 40 sacks. I'm picking Philadelphia. Rob?
Yeah. There's no one I'm laughing at. The Eagles are 6.5-point favorites. And they're going to have 6 points on the board in 5 minutes. 38-20. This will be a beatdown. Take it, Eagles.
Yes?
And the reason that the point spread is that low is because Jalen Hurts leads the league in interceptions at this point. He's going to keep the game close, but then Hal is right behind him with 7. So you're going to have defense takeaways in this game, but I'm going to go with the Eagles.
Hurts,
because Danny Dimes isn't playing.
Hurts left the game last week in a knee brace, so there's a little question about his knee. Tim?
Yeah, or maybe even the backup for the Eagles could get the Eagles a win here. I'll take the Eagles. I'd say by 21.
Oh God!
He's just taking Philadelphia. So we are.
Oh boy, we have little faith in the Commander Land. Woo!
Yeah, we're just ready to see that coach get fired.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, when's Ron going to get fired? Brian's not.
Okay, the next game is the battle of the first and second pick in last year's draft. The Houston Texans are 3-3. They're playing in Carolina, where it's supposed to be 79 degrees, almost no chance for rain. And Carolina is 0-6, looking for their first victory. There's a couple places I was reading today where they think they might get their first victory this week. Michael, you're first.
Yeah, they spent a lot of time talking about C.J. Stroud last week. C.J. Stroud. He was even on the sidelines for the Ohio State game. Why? I don't know. I think the Texans are going to find a way defensively to stop them, and I think the Texans will pull the strings and beat up on Carolina.
All right. Stroud is 60%, 9 touchdowns, only 1 interception. He's getting protection from his offensive line. He's only been sacked 13 times. The thing that Houston that's been plaguing them is they really have not got their running game going. They ran the ball last year very well with Dameon Pierce, but it's not been working out so far this year. And they also struggle to rush the passer themselves. So Bryce Young is going to have time to throw the ball. They're going to be missing possibly Von Bell, safety, and Miles Sanders, running back. But again, both quarterbacks will have time. Carolina's defense is 31st in the league. Their DC is Elvira, what's his name? Ejiro, who used to be the DC for the Broncos. And the Broncos had a fairly decent defense. But it's not working out for the Panthers. They're 31st on defense. I think Houston is a better team. I think Houston's going to win the game. Rob?
This Panthers team's going to win a game this year. What better time than this week? I'm just kidding. Yeah, you got a damn chance. 3-point favorites, Texans are. And I wish I had $500 to put on this game. It's going to be over with by the end of the first quarter. 34-9. The Texans are going to stomp them.
Yes.
Carolina may go winless this year and have a number 1 pick.
Well, and they lose it.
Trading for it, they might have it earned.
They lose it to the playoffs. How about that?
Texans.
Do they have to play the Giants this year?
No, but they do get to play the Saints again, who they almost beat in week 2.
Oh boy!
So there is that, and then they can still catch. I said this earlier today. I said they can still catch somebody that's not playing everybody, or
Yeah.
Yeah, but shut up.
I'll take the Texans.
All right, we are all on Houston. So is Keith. Keith has Houston as well.
Keith's with us in chat.
All right, next game are the Cleveland Browns at the Seattle Seahawks. Cleveland is 4-2. This is in a dome. Seattle is also 4-2. This should be a pretty good game.
Of course, I have to find out something.
Did you see this play last week?
Is found a home here in Jim Schwartz's defense, playing up near the line of scrimmage like a linebacker.
Well, apparently for Shane Steichen, they're not out of field goal range. Metcalf is blocked. That's a live football. It's picked up Denzel Ward.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Myles Garrett can leap tall buildings and block field goals. he can cause fumbles in the end zone that are recovered for touchdowns in the end zone. That guy is just dominating. But an interesting game. There were 8 lead changes in that game with Baltimore. Seattle Seahawks, they're kind of quietly putting together a darn good season. Charbonneau is he's got a hamstring problem, so he's kind of questionable, I believe. And also, the Seahawks have a lot of tough games coming.
Mm-hmm.
Walker is averaging 4.1 yards per carry, Charbonneau 4.7. And I like Jerron Reed. He's kind of leading their defense, the defensive tackle, and Boye Mafe. Both of those guys have 4 sacks apiece. I'm going to go with Seattle. I think it might be a little bit of an upset for some people, but I'm taking Seattle. Rob?
Seattle's favored by 2.5 points.
Okay, so not an upset.
Yeah, but I'm picking the upset. I like the Browns in this ball game. I think the Browns are the better team. Seattle's quarterback is starting to get that little downtrend now. I thought once they signed him to that 3-year deal, I thought, yeah, we're going to start seeing him kind of leak out. It's the oil's starting to leak a little bit with this Seattle team. They're a good team. I'm not taking anything away from them, but Cleveland is a top 3 team in the AFC when they play their best. Now we got is their quarterback back this week?
PJ Walker is probably going to play, as far as I know.
I like their chances better. I like their backup with the backup. I like their chances better. 26-24 Browns.
Yeah, Walker is 50% and no touchdowns, 3 interceptions, though. Harris?
But the Browns don't have Sean Smith's crew going with them this week.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah. And all right, first, I'm taking Seattle for that. Now, the crew that worked that game in Indy last week is under investigation by the NFL.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
about time.
Because I think it might be a time for them to kind of crack down. Guys, can we make sure that the ball's catchable before we call pass interference?
Well, and not just that. There were 4 or 5 real bad calls in that game, and they all went against
contact was a little sus.
Yeah, but I talked to somebody last night who gets his information from NFL officials. Okay, and that entire crew is under investigation at this point. If you look at the referee assignments for this coming week, there's some slots that aren't filled in yet. They may be rearranging some crews around.
Okay.
But I'll take Seattle.
And I will take Seattle as well, only because Seattle has been sort of a house of horrors for the Browns over my lifetime, at least, either in the Kingdom or in wherever they call the field now. They've not played well there.
And Mike.
Oh, you don't want to hear what I have to say. I have to get in touch with my my adopted daughter because the Groper is in town. Okay? The Groper's in town, and he ain't playing, so he's going to be on the lookout for the chicks. Okay? That's one reason. 2, Kenneth Walker is probably Kenneth
Yes, he did.
Walker III is probably one of the best running backs in the National Football League. They're playing in Seattle. Week 7. You're still looking for I don't know. They don't have the ones yet. But I'm going to take Seattle without the Groper.
And what about Keith?
Keith picked Cleveland.
Just watch all your women.
All right, am I
Groper's
next?
in town. Here we go.
All right, we got Kansas City at Denver as our next game. Kansas City is 6-1. It's supposed to be 34 degrees, and there is a 21% chance for possible snow in Denver. Denver is 2. The Broncos are 2-5. And Lori and I, my grandkids, were at that game last week. We got to see Travis Kelce have one of his best games of his career.
I'll never forget what we saw him do in Minnesota. Rolled an ankle, looked like a high ankle sprain, came back and was a huge factor in the second half. And there's another catch by Kelce. He's got one man to beat. Kelce tackled down at the 5-yard line. Marlowe prevents the touchdown.
Travis Kelce had 12 catches for 179 yards, and Patrick Mahomes had one of his best games, 424 in the air, 4 touchdowns.
And 39 fantasy points.
We were sitting 13 rows up from the end zone, kind of in the middle of it, and so we got his view of the game, and I like that view the best. And it's just incredible how he sees the field. We saw the entire game. There was only one open receiver that he missed, not seen, but his decision making and his throws are just unbelievable. Am I first on this?
Did you see any Swifties?
I think
Mike went last.
no, I think it's Rob.
Okay, Rob.
Oh wow, Chiefs are 8.5-point favorites is all in Denver, and Denver stinks, man. I'm like this. I can't lose this week. If Denver loses, their coach may get fired. And if Denver wins, at least the Chiefs lose. And I'm not a Chiefs fan. I got to admit that. I kind of like. I've always kind of liked the Raiders. So I can't lose in this game. I'm hoping the Broncos lose and they fire their coach and get rid of him for good. It's gonna happen eventually. 38-10 beat down. Chiefs win.
The Raiders.
Easy pick. Huh?
The Raiders?
Oh man, I was a big Kenny Stabler fan. Oh yeah, I've always liked him. But I like the Steelers too. That's the crazy part. I like both teams, but I always like both of those teams. Yeah.
Harris?
The only way Denver wins this game is if hell freezes over. And it's only going to be 34 degrees, so that's not happening. Give me the Chiefs.
Tim?
Hold on. I have to do something real quick here.
He's looking for the John Elway.
No.
No, I have the most.
What is the current temperature in Hell, Michigan?
Yep.
The current temperature in Hell, Michigan is 69 degrees. So Hell is not over.
There you go. Right on
There is
point.
a Hell, Michigan. In fact, they do a
Well, I
run
didn't
through
know
Hell.
that.
Yeah, it's in. I think it's in the UP, the Upper Peninsula.
I have a tank top T-shirt from Hell.
Okay.
Why is the Broncos going to win, Tim?
Oh, the Broncos may be visiting there because the Chiefs may put them through that. 45-13.
Michael?
First question. Is she coming?
Yeah,
Is she going to be there?
I
Do they
kind
know?
of doubt it, but I don't know.
If she is, she's probably going to have to wear one of those fur coats, except, especially after she wore that mini skirt in the game last week. I saw that on TV, and you know what? That's why Travis had the game of his life. He had the game of his life, and he got dessert after the game. So, that's what I'm thinking about this. Either way, Mahomes, Kelce, whatever, McKinnon, whatever. Sean, you should have stayed at Fox. Chiefs, easy.
Division games are kind of tight. After that game last week where Kelce had such a good game, Andy Reid says about Kelce, the young man's improving, and if Taylor wants to stay around, she's welcome to stay around too. And that was the thing. The first couple of weeks she was around, I was wondering if they were partying too much because there was a game where Kelce and Mahomes was not quite on the same page, a couple passes.
Oh, yeah.
Since then, he's been on fire the last 2 weeks. I think he's got more than 20 catches and about 300 yards receiving the last 2 games.
Yeah, that's why. But he's good anyway. I kick him.
What I'm excited about with Kansas City is their defense. They're number 2 in the league now in point scored defense. And they got Charles Omenihu, who made an immediate impact in the game last week. He was allowed to practice with the Chiefs during his suspension, but he started like he hasn't missed a beat. He was applying pressure all day long, stopping the run, knocked down a pass that turned into an interception, had a sack. Omenihu was talking about after the game, Mike Daniels having a good year on the defensive line. And he started thinking about the defensive line, and he just smiled and says, it's going to be good. And I believe him. I think it's going to be good. Well, Denver, if they stay with their running game, they will give the Chiefs a game. McLaughlin is fast. Javonte Williams is hard to tackle. He's averaging 4.3 yards per carry. McLaughlin's averaging 6.9. And when they ran 2 weeks ago against the Chiefs, they did well, but he did not give them the ball. This time around, he needs to give them the ball more if he has any hope of winning this game. I'm picking Kansas City.
Keith.
You think Russell's going to throw 50 times?
He only passed for 95 yards in that game in Kansas City.
I know.
He's going to have to throw a lot because he's going to be down quick.
Yeah, Keith.
Yeah.
Keith
Oh,
had
Keith
had to
is
take the
outstanding.
Chiefs.
All right, the next game is the Ravens, 5-2. They go to
Keith,
Arizona. Arizona is 1-6.
On the fake, looking for Andrews, has him. Mark Andrews turns upfield, looking for the end zone, diving for the pylon. He's in. Touchdown, Baltimore.
That's a huge play.
So here's Jackson. Pressure coming, going end zone. It is caught for the touchdown. Another for Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews must have thought it was national tight end game because he had a great game with two touchdowns. I think Harris, you're first.
Keith took the Chiefs, didn't he?
Pardon?
Keith took the Chiefs, didn't he?
Keith, yeah, everybody took Kansas.
Yeah, he's not drunk. He won't drunk yet.
I think this past week, Jackson had his second best game as a quarterback since he's been in the league. His first best was that 58-point game they put up on Miami years ago.
Yeah, 21 for 27, 357 yards.
It's best one of his best days passing. But you know what else? Look at the Ravens defense. They are number 1 in the league.
Number 1.
On points allowed at 13-9 or 13-8, something like that. They haven't traveled so well with Harbaugh as a head coach. Going west. If it was any other team, I think I'd take that home team. But I've got to go with the Ravens this week.
Tim?
Yeah, if Lamar doesn't beat you with the tight end, they'll find some other way to beat you. And they're playing the Cardinals, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the Cardinals are kind of done. They had their little 1 week shock and awe against the Cowboys, and they're nothing but fluff right now. Give me the Ravens.
Michael?
Hey, Brian. Move your Cardinals helmet up just a little bit. We can.
There you go.
Yeah.
And now we can sit better.
I do like the
you know what?
Cardinals. They're
If you
one of my
push
favorites.
that back, that's what's going to happen. There's going to be a ton of Raven fans at the game, even though their quarterback is very good. Even though the Cardinals quarterback is very good, he can run for his life, okay? Lamar's going to have a game against their defense because he doesn't play defense. I can't see anything else. The Ravens are probably the hottest team going these days. Give me Baltimore in a rout.
Baltimore's tough in everything you look at. Their red zone defense, they're allowing only 23% scoring. Jackson's 71%, 16-10, 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Running game's going fine with Edwards and Justice Hill. Zay Flowers, outstanding receiver. Mark Andrews, receiver. They got it going in Baltimore, and they are the team I'm most worried about for my Chiefs, for sure. Arizona, Dobbs is kind of cooling off. It's still not bad, 62% with 6 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. But this team has only scored 19 points in their last 2 games. Arizona is kind of falling apart. I don't know if they're going to win another game. They're not going to win this week, Baltimore.
I don't think so, Keith. If he don't win a Super Bowl this year, they're going to fire him.
What about John? Think about it at the dinner table. Jim, you got to win the Super Bowl, all right? Hey, John, I heard what's going on in Michigan. What's going on, brother? Are you using those glasses to sneak a peek at all these teams? That's
Who cares?
I like it. I like your Ravens in this game. They're 8-point favorites. Had I went yet?
Oh,
I
yeah.
started. I was first. You haven't went.
I like them in the game, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think the Cards keep it close on the West, 26-17. Ravens win and cover.
Like I had myself and wrote down Baltimore for everybody, and I was just making assumptions.
And Keith too?
Yeah, Keith took Baltimore.
All right.
I think we're ready. Are we ready for Cincinnati now?
Yep.
Okay, Cincinnati is 3-3. They're going to San Francisco, where it's expected to be 62 degrees and clear. San Francisco is 5-2. Forgot to mention the broadcaster for these games. Kevin Harlan's working the Chiefs game. That's my favorite team. Kevin Harlan and Trent Green. The Cincinnati game is Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. Who's first on this one?
Tim.
Okay.
Kevin Harlan's the best. Man.
Is Debo going to be out for this game? Because it seems like not having Debo is Brock Purdy's kryptonite.
He's questionable at this point.
Okay, at this point, with the fact that the Bengals might be coming off a bye, but it looks like Burrow's little health issue has gone away, and they've kind of found their mojo. I'll take the Bengals to win.
I think Trent Williams is still questionable also.
Really? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the 49ers are they finally hit their peak. And what happens when you reach the top? You go down. It's East Coast versus West Coast. Give me the East Coast team. Give me the Bengals to win this game.
The East Coast of Cincinnati, which is nearer to Kentucky and Indiana.
Right.
All right, Cincinnati doesn't have much of a running game, but it does look like Burrow is healthy now and playing like he's healthy, and he's finding Jamar Chase. They still have Trey Henderson on defense. Hendrickson's got 7 sacks, 8 quarterback hits, and 8 TFLs. McCaffrey has scored touchdowns in 16 straight games, but he would tell you he didn't have a good game last week with that important fumble that he had. Debo and Trent Williams are still questionable.
That's right. I lost by 1 point because of that.
Purdy has come back to earth, throwing 3 interceptions last week. Javon Hargrave's still playing in the center of that defense, and Fred Warner still in the middle of that defense. So I expect a good game, but I'm leaning towards Cincinnati and picking Cincinnati. Rob?
Cincinnati's still got that same offensive line they've started the season with. They're getting a little bit more healthy. Niners 5.5-point favorites. I don't think you're going to have a problem. I think both teams will score a lot. 33-27 Niners.
Harris?
This is another one of those, whoever controls the clock's going to win this game. I think with McCaffrey in the backfield for San Francisco, you can feed him the ball 25, 30 times a game. He can take it in his hands and win it for you all alone. Give me the 49ers.
San Francisco. And Keith took San Francisco.
Tim, how about Tim?
I think the Bengals.
Yeah, he took the Bengals.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Okay, next game are the Chicago Bears. They're 2-5, and they're going to LA to play the Chargers, Chargers are 2-4. Who's first?
Me.
Michael.
Before you get started.
Talk about him.
Bagent's got to be sharp here. 3rd and goal.
Bagent with time. Throws it short. Foreman with the catch. Foreman to the end zone for the touchdown. And the first career touchdown pass for Tyson Bagent.
So Tyson Bagent was really good last week, 21 for 29, 1 touchdown, no interception. And he's the one we've been talking about from Shepherd University in West Virginia.
Ready for my comment right now? See, NBC is pissed off at CBS. Why? Because they got to show this piece of crap game compared to the Bengals and 49ers. That would be the better game to show on national TV. Justin against the rookie. You know, they're home. I gotta go with the LA Superchargers. Let's do that.
Is Fields back this week?
No.
I think if he's healthy, he's sitting.
Bagent.
His son's still a problem.
Still.
I think they're expecting Bagent to play.
Los Angeles Superchargers. Maybe they'll wear the powder blues.
So I got you down for the Chargers.
Yes.
So Bagent, since he's been playing, he's passing for 72%, 245 yards. Running game is going strong for Chicago with Herbert averaging 5.3. And now they've added Deontay Foreman, 4.7 yards a carry. And DJ Moore, the receiver, he's a true number one receiver for Bagent. The Chargers, I watched them last week, and I've always said they're not a good fourth quarter team. And in the media, they talked about how Hebert has performed in the fourth quarter, not great. The offense is 11th, defense is 25th. And Herbert's got good numbers, but he has had a lot of game where he has faded in the fourth quarter. The running game's pretty good. The Chiefs in the first half last week were kind of playing with a lot of pressure and playing man-to-man. So they almost broke one on the running game, and then they did break one with Darius Davis. And Josh Kelly is also very quick. But in this game, I'm picking the Chargers, but I think it's going to be a competitive game. Rob?
Saturday in the park. I thought it was the 4th of July. Chicago, this team doesn't travel like the band does. Now, Herbert sucks really bad. And when I say really bad, I say bottom 6 or 8 of the NFL. He's that bad. But Bagent on the road in LA, different story here. Man, I tell you what, they're not going to cover 8.5. I don't know who in the world came up with 8.5 points here. 24-17, Chargers squeak out a win. They're not going to cover them.
There's no home field advantage at SoFi for the Chargers. It never has.
He's got his socks all the way up to his knees.
Harris?
This is one of those I just rolled the side or die on, and it came up Chicago.
Okay. Tim?
No, I think the Chargers will prevail only because Keenan Allen might have a few receiving yards.
Jesse Palmer has kind of developed too. He's a pretty good receiver also.
Which way did Keith go?
Keith is with the Chargers.
All right.
Your wacky fans that fill
You're
your
on the
head.
island.
All right, our last game is the Monday night game. That's the Raiders at the Detroit Lions. Raiders are 3-4 on the year. Detroit is 5-2. They're going to break out their new logo on their helmets and different uniforms.
Yeah.
Detroit. And I think, Michael, you're first. Is that right?
Oh, I get the Monday night game. Oh,
First one. I think
Pardon?
Brian's.
Oh, am I first?
Yeah.
yeah, I think so.
I am not a Raiders fan, Rob. Ever since Ben Davidson piled on Lenny Dawson, I have always learned that, like everybody else in Kansas City, hate the Raiders. And then the rivalry kind of went away for it because there was a stretch where we won about 14 times in a row. And it's like we used to have a rivalry with Denver. We beat them 15 times in a row, so that's not really much of a rivalry there either. Josh Jacobs for the Raiders has kind of disappeared this year. Their offensive line has not been bad. Crosby's been good, but that's about all that's going. Devontae Adams was missing in action last week. Now, speaking of missing in action, the Detroit Lions were missing in action last week. But good teams can have days like that. We'll see if they bounce back. In general, the Lions are not getting enough of a pass rush. I think maybe they listened too much to the media like Stephen A. putting them first and some other people putting them first in their power rankings, and it probably went to their heads. Now, Dan Campbell's got to deal with that. Detroit has not given up a 100-yard rushing game until they played the Ravens. I think they'll bounce back. I'm picking Detroit. Bob?
Yeah, just because I like the Raiders doesn't mean I'm going to pick the Raiders. I am not drunk tonight. Yeah, no. Lions, 7.5-point favorites. This is another one. Walk to the bank with this one. Run to the bank with this one. Vegas is going to lose their tail on this one. 41-17. Lions will eat them up.
Yes.
As bad as Detroit was this week, they're going to be the exact opposite this coming week. Detroit big. And it will probably be a low viewers watching this Monday night game.
Tim?
I think the Detroit fans will more than make up for it. The Vegas fans might be too busy partying somewhere. Give me the Lions.
Yeah, Michael?
You think I'm going to watch this game?
Yeah.
WWE, baby. WWE. Oh, my God. Another disaster for ESPN. But since the Lions are playing in Ford Field, can't call it the Pontiac Dome anymore because it's two different companies. I'm taking the Lions and Jared Goff to win.
Keith ran with them too, didn't he?
Yes. Everybody's on Detroit. Now let's talk about the Locks box. Yeah, now we did last week.
Yeah.
In the Locks box, I know Buffalo didn't win.
Nope.
I had Buffalo.
That me?
Yep. No, that was Brian.
That was me.
Yeah. Who's the next team you got?
Rob had Seattle.
Yeah, I won with them.
So Seattle was good. And then,
Yep.
one of us had San Francisco.
That was Mike.
Wah, 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 wah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
And Keith had Kansas City, and that was a big win.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Double.
So who we got for our Lux this week?
I have to go last since everybody else missed their picks. So
I wonder who
the two that missed go first, and the two whoever wasn't here last week will go next, and then me.
Right.
So
Okay.
you or Mike,
Mike,
Brian,
you go ahead.
you two.
Me?
Yeah, you missed.
Oh, I missed. I know.
So either you or Brian, who's going first?
Brian, I'll let you go first. You're the host.
All right, I'm picking Kansas City.
I figured that.
Before Rob can.
Before Rob can grab him.
That's one. No, save it first.
Michael?
So Arizona just scored.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a tough. I always have a tough time trying to figure out who I like best. It's like which child do you want to take? And
There's
you
a
know
couple
what?
lots out there.
I know what I'm gonna do. I'm going fishing.
Miami.
Is it going to be Michael?
Yeah,
Miami?
yeah. I'm taking the fish. I want to see them
All right.
run all over Double B
And then Tim or Harris, whoever.
and look at his grumpy old face.
All right. You know what, Harris? Harris, go ahead. I'll let you take this one.
I'm going to take a team that's going to bounce back real big this week after getting humiliated last week. Give me Detroit.
Okay, I thought you were going to take this team, but since you didn't, I will. I will take the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I was waiting for that one to go.
If they were home, yes, I would.
Okay.
Okay.
Rob?
You guys just lay them in my lap, and I just take them every week. Anytime you get them to me. Are you telling me nobody's taking the Jets against the Giants? Oh my God! This is candy, boys and girls.
Oh Lord, here we go.
I thought you would take the Eagles.
I could have took the Eagles too, but I'm taking the Jets. I'm taking the Jets. I think this is a smear down. I really do think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be watching on the red zone.
This is the part of the show where we usually talk about the NCAA, but we've got an important baseball game getting started here that people probably want to watch. So what do you want to do with the colleges this week?
Well, how about this? Top 10 games. If you see an upset or if you hear an upset, Indiana, Penn State. I like Penn State. Anybody? Just hold your hand up if you like Penn State.
Keith White has a lock for the Bills.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
He's going to go Thursday night. I was thinking about that.
All right. Yep, we got him. Mike, do you
Sir.
like Penn State against Indiana?
Yeah.
All right. Oregon at Utah. Oregon's a 4-point favorite. I like Utah at upset. I'll take Utah. Harris.
Oregon.
Utah.
Yeah.
The Utes.
Mike.
The Utes.
Tim, you got Utah?
Yep.
I love Oregon, but I'm going to
And
take the
Brian?
Utes.
That's a pretty even game. Both teams are 6. It's at 3:30 on Fox. I think I'm going to stay with Oregon.
Yeah, I like Utah at home, though. That's the only reason. Next one, we got BYU in Texas. Harris.
Texas.
Tim.
Ewers is questionable, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yes,
But
it's going to be Malik Murphy starting.
yeah, they're at home.
I still think that Texas has too much talent.
Mike.
Bye BYU. It's Texas.
Brian.
Yeah, BYU is 5-2, but their offense is like 74th in the country, and the defense is 51st. So they probably haven't played anybody. I like Texas.
He
I
said
like
Utah.
48-22.
Everybody likes
Texas
Texas.
blows them out the water. Harris. Oklahoma, number 6 in the country, taking on Kansas. They've only got one loss, I think.
Yeah, I got to go Oklahoma.
Two.
Oh, they got 2 losses now. I'm sorry, 2 losses.
Oklahoma.
Tim.
Yeah, I'll take Oklahoma.
Michael.
Sooners may score 50. Oklahoma.
Brian.
Yeah, Kansas is 5-2, and they've not had their starting quarterback Jalen Daniels most of the year. Bean's decent, but I don't think they're going to be able to stop the run against Oklahoma. I'll take Oklahoma.
10.5-point favorites. I say it's going to be closer than that, 37-34. I still take Oklahoma to win the ball game.
Kansas has had an extra week to prepare for this game.
Yep. Harris, Washington, number 5 in the country, undefeated, going to Stanford. Harris.
I'm going to take the upset there in Stanford.
Wow. Tim.
I think Washington will bounce back a little bit this week after only scoring 15 points. I'll take Washington.
Michael.
Gotta go with the Huskies.
Brian.
Go with Washington.
Yeah. Washington 38-13. I think they bounce back, really have a good game this week. They need to really bad after that flat performance. Florida State, number 4 in the country, 20.5-point favorites, going to Wake Forest. Harris.
The hat says it all.
Florida State, huh? Tim.
Oh, Florida State by 20, right by 30.
Michael.
I don't know. I'm going to go with the upset. I'm going to try Wake Forest.
Wow. Brian.
I think Florida State's having a special season. You know, their defense was like in the 60s a few weeks ago. Then they were in the 40s. Now they're in the 20s. They're getting better and better every week in the defense. I'm going with Florida State.
Yeah, I think Florida State covers, but I don't think he covered by a lot. 38-14. I like Florida State. Ohio State, number 3 in the country, undefeated. They just beat Penn State. They're 14-point favorites at Wisconsin. Harris.
Buckeyes.
Tim.
Yeah, even though the Camp Randall's not really ever been great to Ohio State, they're just better. So I'll take the Buckeyes.
Michael.
Ohio State will throw for more yardage than Wisconsin will get rushing yardage. Ohio State.
Brian.
Yeah, Ohio State, they allow 10 points a game. Their defense is just stifling. I'm going with Ohio State, although I think it could be a competitive game.
Camp Randall, tough place to play. They're outclassed here. 37-21. I like Ohio State. Final game in the top 10. Number 1, Georgia, the cocktail party down in Jacksonville. Going to play Florida. 15.5-point favorites. Georgia. Harris.
Georgia bigger than that.
Tim.
Yeah, I guess I'll take Georgia.
Michael.
Georgia probably giving up either 0 or 7 points. Georgia.
Brian.
I think this is the most interesting game to me. Bowers, the tight end, is out for the season for Georgia. Carson Beck, the quarterback's having a great year. And I like Graham Mertz for Florida. He's at 76%, 12 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Mertz went to the high school I went to, except he was behind a better quarterback who was a senior, so he transferred. And I think he went to the wrong school, Wisconsin. I think they mess up every quarterback they get. But at Florida, he's really flourishing, and he's doing what he can do. I think this is going to be a game, but I'm picking Georgia.
15.5, I think it's way too much. I'm one of the people that agree. I agree with Brian. Upset. Georgia loses 39 weeks in a row. They've been number 1. They're going to come off the board here. They're going to lose 34-31. I like the upset with Florida.
Very interesting.
Tacos.
That's all the top 10 games.
There you go.
You got it.
There is
All
one.
right. Keith, thanks for joining us. Lori, thanks for working my pictures behind the scenes. And guys, it's been another good way. Enjoy the Philadelphia Phillies game. Let's see if they can get
Arizona
more.
1-0.
Yeah,
That's
let's see if
right.
they can come back now. They got a comeback to do. But, hey, they got 9
Maybe Harpo hit a homer.
It's
Now, well, we got to see.
Come on.
Come on.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye, guys. Bye, guys.
Bye. Have a good week.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you.